Hey everybody, this is Jeff here and welcome back to Runnergy, and I have been fitting people for running and walking shoes for 30 years, and I'm going to be going over today why your running and walking shoes are killing your feet. So, number one reason is shoes are too small. So, if you're normally a 7.5, you probably need an 8 or even an 8.5. I suggest you go to a store that knows how to fit and get professionally fitted. I know that's not always a possibility, but in general, you want to have about a finger space in front of your toes. In either case, you just don't want to feel your toes at the end of the shoe. So you want to go up to whatever size you need to make sure the shoes are not too small, because that's going to cram your toes up. The position of your whole foot is not going to be in the right place. So number one thing is that shoes are too small. Number two kind of goes along with that, and that is the shoes are too narrow and they're squeezing your feet together. Shoes come in lots of widths, mostly medium and wide, and occasionally narrow, but it's better to have extra room in the width than not enough room in the width. So if you have a wider foot, you might need to get like a wide or even an extra wide, or you may want to go into something like this that has a wide shaped toe box like Ultras and Topos. But yes, number two is not enough width, especially if you have something like an inflamed nerve, which is called a neuroma. That's an inflammation of a nerve, and the feel of that can tend to be like feeling a wrinkle in the bottom of your shoe, like your sock is wrinkled, or just a gnawing pain in here. If you have something like that, you need to go get it checked out. But none the case, you want to make sure you have enough width in your shoe. All right, moving on to number three. There you go. I need some drink. I need a little drink. Yeah. Hey, cheers. You know what I'm saying? All right, number three here. All right, is that the arch is not fitting your foot correctly in the shoe. So you could have a shoe with a too high of an arch, and that could be cutting into your foot, causing a blister even, or making you want to walk more on the outside of your foot because the arch is too high, or you don't feel any arch in the shoe and it's not enough arch, and your arch is, it's allowing your arch to collapse inward this way. But number three is that the arch is not fitting your foot. It should be comfortable, it should be hugging your arch, but too high is not good, and it's worse than too low. Too low, you can actually kind of remedy that with what I do. Let me get my shoe here. I meant to have an insole ready, but thank goodness I have this one here in my shoe that I'm wearing. Like this. This is an insole that I put in my shoe because the arch will mold to the shape of my arch. They'll kind of like marry each other. And I put those into my shoe, especially on my right foot, because the arch is a little funny on that one. But the arch should be comfortable in the shoe, and that is the number three reason that your shoe is killing your feet, is that the arch is not fitting your arch correctly. It's either too high or too low. In most cases, it's too high. Number four is kind of goes along with that and kind of has the same remedy, which is the shoe does not have enough torsional support. That is, so if you can see this here, I can twist this shoe. Hopefully you can see that here. I can twist this shoe. Let me get even something that twists even more than that. And that is a barefoot shoe, which of course will have no torsional support. But you can see I can completely twist this shoe now. And that is going to put a lot of strain on the muscles and tendons in your feet, including the fascia. So this is a big one for plantar fasciitis. You don't want a shoe that can twist. And so that is number four. Now that can be remedied a little bit, the same thing with an insole, because an insole will add some torsional support here because it's got a plastic piece. If it's this kind of insole, if it's just a soft, cushy, rubbery, kind of foamy insole, it's not going to add any torsional. But these arch plastic insoles will add some torsional support to the shoe and make the shoe much more stiff so it doesn't twist on you. Again, that can be fatiguing on the foot and the ankle if the shoe doesn't have enough torsional support for you. That's number 4. All right, and number 5, and this is quite honestly one of the lesser reasons, but not enough cushioning. I wanted to add this in here because everybody loves to have cushioning. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people like to, they want like the best cushioning and the best this and that. So not having enough cushioning will definitely, will feel the ground, and your foot can get fatigued from just hitting the ground and not having enough cushioning in the shoe. Again, that can be kind of remedied with a soft cushioned insole instead of a more rigid one like these, like a cushioned insole. A good one is a Sorbothane brand, Sorbothane, and it's called the Sorbo Air. That's got a really nice cushion insole if you want to replace what comes in the shoe, which is typically crap. It's just a plain old insole. If you want to replace that with something that's cushioned, not necessarily supportive, but cushioned. In most cases, most people need more torsional support than they need cushioning. The foot's designed pretty well. It's got quite a few joints in there to articulate and absorb shock. So cushioning is not normally, but I wanted to add it in here because, say like in my example, I do have a neuroma, that inflamed nerve on my right foot, and those tend to like cushioning. So if you have something like that, or a arthritic inflammation in the joints, then yeah, having a cushioned insole could help. I would probably recommend go with a cushier shoe and then add in a torsional insole for more support, torsional support. Anyway, thanks for joining me. I hope that helps, and I will see you on the next video. Keep on moving, 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 moving. Bye. Thanks for watching.